Good morning and Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome to 2021. I am making my traditional New Year's lunch today. Well, it's actually going to be for dinner, so that's why I'm a little late doing it. But I've got my black-eyed peas soaking here in some water. I'll put those on around 3 or 4 o'clock because we'll eat dinner around 7, something like that. I've already taken my bunches of collards. See, was on here like this. Big bunches of collards. I had 3 good sized bunches, and I just used my scissors and whacked the leaf part off. This is going to the chickens because they deserve a treat today too. So once you get the collards to this stage where it's just a big leaf with the stem. Now this stem, I don't like the stem. It's too thick and it's not leafy enough, so I pull that stem out. So all I do is just take it like this and just start ripping down it on either side like that. It goes really fast when you get going with it. And I just put them all into a big bowl, and then I'll be washing them off, make sure there's no sand or anything. Lots of times you'll have sand in collards because they grow so close to the ground. But these look really clean today. I got these up at Billy's Supermarket in Catala. And y'all, if you ever want some good fresh vegetables, Billy's is the place to go. And also, Mr. Billy is out there cooking ribs on most holidays. Now, I don't know if he's there today or not, but I think he was yesterday. He cooks ribs and Boston butts and really good. So if you don't have time to do it yourself, go check out the ones at Billy's. But I'm going to continue to pull these off, and then I'll get back with you and show you how I put them in the pot and start to cook them. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Okay, I'm back. And I've got my collards all ripped off the stems. And you know, if you buy the kind that are already in the bags at the grocery store, all they do is just chop them, so they're going to have those stems in there. And to me, it just takes away from the good old collards. So that's why I buy fresh bunches and strip them myself. So these are washed. They've still got a lot of water on them where I've rinsed them. I've rinsed them 3 times just to make sure. So I'm going to cook mine in my big pressure cooker pot because I just like to go ahead and get them done. If you want to cook them in a big pot like this and just let them simmer all day, you can do that too. You know, just cook them until they're tender. But I like to know that I've got these done, and then I can always just warm them up for dinner. So it always looks like you're putting too much in here, but believe me, they shrink down. So I'm going to go ahead and let them start getting warm so they'll shrink down. And then I'll add some other ingredients in there. So you just have to keep pushing down in there, get them in there. And because they're wet, I'm not exactly sure how much water is going to be going down in there. So I'm going to add some chicken broth. I've got some here. And this is almost a cup of chicken broth. And that way I know that they'll have some liquid down in there. And now I'm going to add some, this is just, some people call it fatback, ham hock. I think this was called ham hock at the grocery store. And I got like a pretty good sized package of it for $1.88. So I used it to season something the other day. Now I'm going to season these, and then these other 2 pieces will go in my black-eyed peas. I also, if I might brag a little bit, I also like to sprinkle a spoon of sugar in mine. It's just optional, you don't have to do it. To me, it just kind of helps cut any bitter taste there might be in the collards. spice them up a little bit too. So I'm gonna put a few squirts of Tabasco in here. And that just, that'll make them taste really good. So basically I've got what I need in the pot now. I'm just gonna let the water come to boil, the chicken stock and whatever water was in there come to boil, and so I can mash these down a little bit more before I put the lid on. So that's pretty much it. I just steam pressure cook them for about 5 minutes, and then I let the pressure release on its own, which they're still cooking when they're doing that. And then when they're done, I'll take them out and put them over in a skillet and cut them up into much smaller pieces, and be heating them and cooking any excess juice out of them. But anyhow, this is basically how I do it. I'll show you after I get them pressure cooked. I'll show you how they turned out. All right, I'll be back in a minute. I'm back because I wanted to show you one thing. This is my pressure cooker. I've just put the lid on it, and I'm gonna wait until this little thing, as the pressure builds up, this will pop up to 2 white rings. And after it gets to the 2 white rings, then I'll cut it down really low and let it cook for about 5 minutes. Then I'll cut it off completely and then just let it cool. I know some of y'all might have those Instant Pots or whatever some of those other electric pressure cookers are. I never could figure out how to work one of those. Every time I tried to use a recipe, the recipe book, it never was done after the time frame that they told me to cook it. I guess it was just too modern for me. I couldn't figure it out, but I know how to work a pressure cooker, so that's why I'm sticking with my good pressure cooker here. This is a Fizzler, and it's a really good brand. They don't come cheap, but so I can't get rid of this to try to go to one of those other kinds. So just wanted to add my little comments about that. And but if you've got one and you know how to work it, go for it. It's a good way to cook these things quicker. Now, if you're going to boil them all day, you're going to need to put more than just a cup of water in there. You need to, add enough so that they're not going to scorch before they get done. So anyhow, I'll be back with you when they get ready. Okay, I'm back. These have finished cooking, and I've let the pressure go down. So this is the little rings aren't poking up anymore. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to open it up. You always open it facing away from you so that steam goes out that way. That way you don't take a chance of getting burned by steam. I want to show you how good these look down in the pot there. You can see they all shrunk down, which they do when you cook them. And so what I do next is put this back here. I'll put a skillet in front of it. Because what I do is take them out of the pots. My mother always did this, so that's why I do it. I don't know if there's any other reason for it, but anyhow, you just lift up a bunch of them, put them over in the skillet. You can put this skillet on kind of low heat, because what we're going to do is so like when you go to eat them, you don't want to eat a big old long thing like that. So what we do is we just take a fork like so. Let me see if I can get better from it. You can see better. And then just cut. You can see how easy they cut because they're very tender now. The other way. I've got skillet on, so it's keeping them warm, and it's going to cook out any extra juice that might be in the collard itself. And we will have some juice left down in the pot here, what do you call that? That's the pot liquor, and that's what's really good with your cornbread. So I'm just going to continue to cut these and keep them warm. We'll go ahead and get a little piece up here and taste it, just so I can tell you how good they are. And they are very good. I like to still put pepper sauce on mine. Now, not the Tabasco, but just the vinegar that's been soaked over the peppers. That pepper sauce makes it really good. But anyhow, that's it. That's how I make my collards, and they're good. And we're going to eat plenty of them because we're going to make some green this year in our real estate business. So if you know anybody that needs to buy or sell a house, give me a call too. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.